cloning. 62609. There's been a lot of research lately that is leading to the inevitability of someday people being cloned. They're doing it with sheep. You heard of Dolly already, I'm sure. They've been doing it with family pets and dogs, cats, farm animals. They have run into some serious problems. When they clone, there's often a disruption of some of the trigger mechanisms that develop the fetus into an unaged version of the original. Dolly died a lot faster than she would have normally because basically it was taken from the mammary glands of, I guess it was a 3 or 4 year old ewe, and implanted into an egg. Well, 3 or 4 years were subtracted from her life. So envision somebody who is 85 and wanting a new heart, and basically they clone somebody and take that heart. That's wrong on a dozen different levels. Number one, the current technology would basically say that that heart would have already aged considerably before that individual ever winds up with it. Number two, unlike the Sci-Fi Channel where basically they clone people and in 6 months they all pop out fully grown adults, that doesn't happen. If we ever do successfully clone people, they will not be the original. A soul doesn't get divided just because a cell gets transplanted into an egg. This will be a unique individual. They will carry the basic genetic imprint of the original, but the environment and the upbringing and the forces in their life will direct them in different ways than that original had been. It was one thing that I thought was kind of weird, that people wanted to clone their pets. Like, if you cloned Fluffy, you would wind up with another Fluffy. You'd wind up with another cat that basically looked very similar, but you weren't going to wind up with Fluffy. Fluffy's soul is gone. So Fluffy's soul is already in heaven. This is going to be a totally different creature. And if your expectations are that this is going to be Fluffy, you're going to be sorely disappointed. If you clone a child because you think that, oh, poor little Johnny, he got killed in that wreck and he went too soon, you're not going to give Johnny a new start. You're going to invite another son into your life. But you're going to be thinking of that as Johnny, and that's not Johnny. You cannot recreate the things that that created Johnny to make this new soul be Johnny. That all by itself aside, there are some ethical questions that need to be addressed. One of them is these will be human beings. These will be individuals who should have rights of their own instead of a second class. Because if cloning becomes popular because you think, okay, here's somebody who is super muscular and dumb as a doornail, I'll just clone this one and make 50,000 of them, you're still going to have 50,000 human beings. If you think of them as less than human being, then you are creating another slave race. And that is wrong. Jesus fought against it. God does not approve of it. It is a situation that you have to use wisdom when advancing technology. This is a really good example of what can go wrong. If you clone somebody strictly to harvest organs from them, we're already in a borderline right now. There are people who have had second and third or fourth children to provide cells or transplants of some version like bone marrow for a child who is already existing. If this child is loved and supported as an individual, and you love them for that reason, that they are another child of yours, that's one thing. If the only reason you wanted another child was to save this other one, that's wrong. You are creating a slave to take, to steal, to manipulate for your own ends. That is wrong. I think the problem is that technology is advancing faster than most people are able to conceive of its possible octopus tentacles that come out from them. People aren't thinking of all of the ramifications that can come from examples like cloning. What if we cloned somebody and then just killed them because we wanted their heart? We were killing our twin to get that heart. Is that murder? Yes. And to get it, you will be marketing in organs that don't belong to you. This individual probably will never have the ability to consent because you took it from them before they ever had a chance to understand what they were losing, their life. And it was not of their free will, so you're murdering them. An example of a verse that would be a good one to look at in this particular case is verse 81. Jesus said, "Let a person who has grown rich in spirit be your leaders. Let the person who holds great power renounce it. It is because it is better to be rich in spirit, because power corrupts." The power to create another human being that will be a subclass of person is a power that needs to be strictly understood and enforced with the rights of these individuals involved. Science in general, a really good example of science being controlled by spirit, to be ethical, to keep a moral outlook on the ramifications of their technology, is the Native American spiritual idea of always doing things, thinking about what the 9th generation removed from you will be impacted by your decisions. If your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren are impacted negatively by your decisions, you should rethink them. God bless the whole world. No exceptions. Angel Eliza.